this is the same program. I mean, if you could have seen what was going on during the break, it was absolutely incredible. Well, we were saying we're going to talk about fashions, which we've done. We talked about getting your child into television, but we're also concerned about the total well-being of your child. And it starts almost at the time of birth. We're going to talk about a new program that's in the area with Wilma Hazen. She's a representative and instructor of Gymboree.
That's right.
And this is her husband, Chuck Linderman behind that. Let me get all this correct here. And we're going to start off with the mommies with the babies, a newborn almost. Is that the age group that they could start off with?
They can start out at 3 months.
At 3 months. Uh-huh. But what are you trying to do? What is it that we're trying to develop at this point, at this age group?
Okay. Gymboree is really a fun program, mainly for parent and child. But we're also working on early learning. And with the very tiny ones, we're working a lot on the kinds of things that they will be doing anyway. But it's just giving a very special time for parent and child to do some of these things together and to do more of it.
So, Chuck, actually, fathers should be involved in this, or can be, right?
Absolutely. This is a part of the father's life from the beginning, too, and it's a good time for fathers who have to travel to spend a little special time with the child, too.
Now, how much time are we talking about? Let's see what happens now with the babies. What are we going to do?
Okay. We're going to do what we call baby boogies.
Baby boogies?
Baby boogies, which are some exercises that we do at the beginning of each baby gym program.
Okay.
And we usually do it with singing and with, this is my baby, and I share my baby. We usually do this with singing because it helps to work with all the senses at one time. So shall we put our babies on our backs, or if they won't go on our backs, we set them up like this, and we're going to do some roly-polies.
All right. Okay.
Roly-polies will work with our arms and with our legs and with all our body to strengthen our arms and our legs and our torsos. Okay, are you ready to boogie? All right. Roly-poly, roly-poly, out, out, out. Roly-poly, roly-poly, in, in, in. Roly-poly, roly-poly, touch your nose. Roly-poly, roly-poly, touch your toes. Yes. Roly-poly, roly-poly, to the sky. Roly-poly, roly-poly, fly, fly, fly. We do lots of yays and lots of hugs and kisses and lots of love.
Everybody seemed to be enjoying this. I don't know whether you got these little close-up of their faces here, but it looked like everybody was having a good time. All right. Now, you're developing the back muscles there? And
We do that same kind of thing with their legs, and we have a number of other kinds of what we call our boogies that we sing and do little exercises with.
Okay.
This is helping them as they're getting ready to crawl or getting ready to walk.
Every day? You do this exercise every day? No.
The parents may do that at home, but in the classes we have 45-minute classes, and it's about a 10-minute period where we're doing this.
I see.
Much of it at Gymboree, of course, is socialization of the child, and they're busy watching the other babies. So they're really not concentrating on what they're doing as much as when mom does it with them at home.
They're doing a whole lot of things here.
That's right.
Is there another exercise that we're going to do?
Sure, we can do another one.
All right, let's see.
We'll do the tactile one, and if you put your babies on their tummy, we'll do it on their back. This one helps the tactile senses because babies get a lot of information through their tactile, all of their neurological systems. Yes. Okay. We'll go. Yeah. X marks the spot with a dot and a dot and a dash and a dash and a big question mark. Line going up and a line and a circle going around and around and a hug and a squeeze and a cool ocean breeze when we blow in their necks.
Oh, they like that. Oh, look at there.
He says I'm ready to come on.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, is this for the? Again, we've done the babies, but 3 months to what age group is this?
3 months to 1 year.
1 year.
And some of the other kinds of things we can do with the babies.
All right.
And this, again, helps develop their torso muscles. Would a couple of babies like to roll on this like we do at Gymboree?
Oh.
Yes. And part of this also helps to develop trust because mom or dad is hanging on, and they are going down, and often we have a mirror in front, and they look at themselves, and they are very pleased to look at themselves.
Well, they don't even, do you see that? They're just...
And we put them on their backs and do this too, and think about how much muscular development is taking to hold up the head and the muscles on the shoulders. Yeah.
Oh, look at there. Oh.
Say, we like that. Yeah.
Look at you. You just grinning. Oh, my goodness.
Say, that's probably not enough.
Oh.
Yay. Yay. We do lots of yays. Oh. How about that? So we have a lot of these kinds of things. The babies use most of the equipment also.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But in a little bit different way than the older children.
Okay. Are we ready to move to the older children?
I think we probably are.
Okay. Thank you, babies.
Thank you,
did
babies.
just fine.
We'll see you later. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now.
All right, Gymboreeers.
Okay, you ready?
Gymboreeers are our middle-age group from 1 to 2 and a half. Middle age.
Okay.
And there are the age group that are what we call least structured in group time because they're not the age to really work on in a group. They are very independent. They're learning how to be independent, and so they need to work on pieces of equipment on their own when they want to.
You know, that really bothers me because in some instances you go in the daycare centers and they've got them all little rigid little classes.
That's
and
right.
They're doing this, and I just think that's so unhealthy for them.
Well, that's why we really try and have the children to work at their own pace and with their moms and with their dads. And if we'll bring the bouncer out.
Okay.
This is one of an easy piece of equipment to
Uh-oh. Where you going with the ball here? Okay.
to work on balance and to work on all kinds of things. Patrick and Meredith, would you like to?
Well, it looks
would you
like
to bounce on the
everybody wants to
bouncer?
do this.
Oh boy.
Wow, look
It
at
takes
this.
a lot of coordination to learn how to jump, and this is a very easy one. And of course, most of us don't allow our children to jump on our beds too often.
That's true. I remember
And-
getting a black eye like that.
Right.
I bounced right on off the bed.
So instead, we provide some of these experiences at Gymboree where you can come and allow them to bounce and to do a number of things like that.
Now, how costly is all of this for a parent who might be interested in getting involved in it? Give me a range.
It's not any more costly than most kinds of programs for infants, and sometimes we bang our noses.
Oh, did we bang our nose there? Oh.
You're okay, Patrick.
Okay, what's happening?
But the range is, for a 12-week course, it's about $48.
Oh, that's not
So
bad.
it's very reasonable. Once a week for 45 minutes.
Now we see why we need parent participation. See?
That's right. That's right.
Now,
and of
what's-
course, we have a lot more room where we usually have our...
Now, something's happening here. What's going on
Okay.
behind us here?
Ryan is climbing on the aluminum climber, and there are a number of things we can do with this piece of equipment, and the children learn a lot of balance and learn a lot of self-confidence.
Well, he's looking at himself on television.
Yes, he's probably...
Yeah, we're going to lose your concentration here. Now, wait a minute. You like the shirt? You like the shirt? Okay, let's see if we can get you going
Can you
across
walk
here.
on across?
Okay. As we watch him go across, I want to get to the older children, and we're running out of time here. You go right on across.
That's all right. They can come on
Come on, older children, let's get you out here. And what happens
Babies,
here?
can you move a little bit out of the way so they can jump off the ramp into the tires? One of the things we do a lot of is jumping because...
Lots of jumping. I am just absolutely amazed. Okay, what's going to happen here?
Okay.
What's happening?
About the time children are 2 years old, they can do a 2-footed jump very easily.
Yay!
And we've been practicing, we've been working on the concept of in, and until you have practiced and know what in is by physically experiencing it, you don't know what
Okay, well,
how to
once
do
you
it.
do that, we'll go to a break. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, we're right back.
Stand there for an hour? Anyway, we're back. I think we ran a test and it seemed to be working okay. We turned more lights on. You get the kids?
Yeah.
Mommy, let's build a building with this stuff.
Okay.
It hooks together.
All right.
Anyway,
Wanted to just sort of bring you up to date on one of the latest developments that could mean a major
that will
change
be
in
a
our
hellcat
or not
That's where we're gonna go and later.
is that George came home from the office on Thursday, and he has two bosses now with the reorganization that the company's going through. One of them is, you know, still pretty much head honcho. Jason, please don't bang the blocks together while I'm talking to Grandma. Did you say hi to Grandma and Grandpa? This tape is going to go to Grandma and
You don't have to
Grandpa,
hold the trigger.
Aunt Bern, what?
You don't have to hold the trigger.
Aunt Bern, Uncle Alan, Karen and Kevin, Uncle Alan, Aunt Pat, Alan and David. That's who this is going to go to. Hopefully everybody will pass it around so they get to see.
Uncle Al.
Uncle Alan's the one that just moved to California.
And back to us so we can put it on our tape.
Right. Anyway, the latest development at George's office was one of his bosses came in and said, you know, we have this big study coming up in fall and we're thinking about having you direct it. You know, what are your feelings about that? And just basically talking to George, and the guy, his boss number 2 said,
Probably easy to use names.
please don't bang them when I'm trying to make the tape.
Why don't you see if you can play with a game that's quieter?
We can build a block and make things.
Yeah, that's what we're being do.
Oh, well, I'll
over
be happy.
here.
Well, I'll be happy to do that. Come move blocks over here.
We need the tractor.
Okay? Anyway, Chris and Bernie are his two bosses. Bernie came into the office and said, we have this new study coming up that we're thinking about having you direct. However, Chris, the other boss, said that you were going to the field this summer.
That'll be the same thing, but I'm just gonna...
And George just kind of looked at him and said, what? I think I'd better go talk to Chris. This is news to me. So George went over to talk to Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris says, well, when we had talked, you know, you hadn't been so dead set against the field anymore. And he says, I didn't mean it to sound like you were going.
No, not that way.
I meant it more as I strongly am going to urge you to go.
This will be big!
And so George said, oh, really? This is interesting. So he came home and told me about it. Told Bernie that he'd make a decision whether he was still going to consider the field within the week so that they could make a decision on who was going to be the study director for this new study that was coming up. Well, he went back into work on Friday morning, and Bernie came in to tell him that Chris had made the decision to make somebody else the study director so that it did not influence George one way or the other
Here.
as far as whether to go to the field or not. So it was kind of like another little nudge for George about going to the field. With that, George has begun to consider and think about the possibility of taking a field assignment. And so he talked to some of the field reps that have been to one of the locations that he's considering. Actually, it's really the only location that I'm considering. And Alan, it's your number, I think it's probably your number 1 state that you're most interested in, and it would be Hawaii. I've always wanted to go there, and I think 2 years there might be a nice way to go. What do you think I'm doing, Jason?
I just asked you when you're talking.
Oh, yeah, I'm playing. Oh, this is Jackie who's playing with us. This is the Greens little girl. She's 2.5 years old. Anyway, we are in the process of, I don't know when George has to make a decision by, but apparently it seems that sometime before the end of March, they should reach a decision on who's going to be taking over in Hawaii. Although the position has not specifically been offered to him, George is pretty sure that if he went into Chris and said, listen, I've made my decision, I'll go, but I want to go to Hawaii as my assignment, that he would get that assignment. Anyway, we left for New York on Friday. George picked George up at the office about 2:30. Jennifer was very tired. Jennifer, what are you doing? Jennifer, what are you doing?
Hi, Jennifer.
We left-
Bye-bye.
You saying bye-bye to Daddy? Say bye-bye, Daddy.
Bye-bye,
What are we building,
Jennifer.
Jason?
A building, a big building.
A big building? Okay.
This
How do
will
we
be
do
a
it?
swamp.
Jennifer?
Why?
You're not supposed to be up there. Yeah, very good. Anyway, we left from New York Friday about 2:30. I picked George up at the office. Jennifer fell asleep before I got to his office. And Jason promptly fell asleep as soon as we got on the highway. They both slept for an hour and a half, and my husband, who never talks, talked for that entire hour and a half. Okay? It was one of the greatest trips that we've taken in a long time. I really enjoyed the drive.
This is
And the
how
whole
I'm happy
conversation,
now.
okay? The whole conversation was Hawaii. What he'd found out, who he had spoken to. He even called the field rep who was already in Hawaii and talked to him for a while. To find out that the position, I think, is a lot better than George was thinking of. Living in Hawaii for 2 years sounds great. It would be a neat
You get in
experience.
trouble?
She's not in trouble now. It's probably, as far as the kids are concerned, the best time to go. I've heard not so hot things about the school system in Hawaii, so we'd want to go before they're in public school. I'm not working at all now, so I wouldn't have to give up a job. However, on the other hand, George is really enjoying what he's doing now. We're up here in Rhode Island because he has to go to the War College in Newport for some war games. He's been working on an amphibious warfare model, and that particular model they're trying to implement up here. But they just sent, I guess it was 4 or 5 guys down from Newport.
Can Grandma hear us?
Yes, she can, honey.
How?
Remember how we play this tape on the television?
Yeah.
And we can watch it and hear ourselves talking?
Yeah.
You want to do a little test just to see how it's doing?
We're going to send this tape to Grandma.
Is Grandma the one talking to us?
No, we're going to be the ones talking to Grandma. Whoa.
Huh?
Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt Jason in the middle of what he was saying. I can record again. Jason, Jennifer, watch. Jason's going to knock... Oh, you paying patty cake. Okay. Are you ready, Dad?
Go on.
Okay.
Go!
Wow.
Keep that together.
What did he do?
Did Grandma see it?
Yay, Jason.
Yeah.
See?
She will when we send her the tape.
Woo!
Hey! Clean it up.
Anyway,
I knocked it down so we can clean it up.
got to comment. I had my hair...
Mommy, let's clean it
Got
up.
my hair cut and permed, and this is, I washed it and went to sleep with it soaking wet, and this is the way it looked in the morning. Daddy was just trying to keep you away from that stuff. Come on. I started to talk about the work George is doing on the amphibious warfare model, which is one of the major disadvantages of going to Hawaii at this point, and that is he's really enjoying the work he's doing. This particular model, they just sent a bunch of people from Newport down to George's office
Can you help
for
me?
about 5 days. Yeah, what are we going to do, build some more?
No, wait so we can play baseball.
Okay, give me the other box and I'll put these away. He's coming up for the war games. And they hope to get the amphibious warfare model on their computer up here. And because George is the resident expert, he's the only one I think that knows anything about the model, he is the likely candidate to help them get it working up here. So we had even talked, and George had talked to his boss about the possibility of coming up to Newport for maybe a month or so in the summer. Or if he didn't do that, well, I don't have a box to put him in. I asked you to give me the box. No, this is for the other time. I need that one. There's another set of war games this summer, which will last for about 3 weeks. So it's possible George could come up for that 3-week period, or a month, or whatever. And he's sort of giving up the thing that he knows and enjoys with his job to take something that may or may not be good in Hawaii. But anyway, he's weighing back and forth the pros and cons. I personally, I pushed really hard 2 years ago to Hawaii, and I still think it would be great. The couple of disadvantages is one, we'd be really far from family, and the other is our friends who've been in England for the last 3 years are finally coming back this summer. And I'd really like to see them. But anyway, the decision is to... Did you miss the chair, Jackie?
I feel. He played again with the big.
you pretty neat, don't you? Yeah. Jennifer's pushing the giraffe, isn't she? So, anyway, what we do is a little bit more on question. A week ago, I had no idea that field assignment was even being considered, and I think George had kind of put it in the back of his mind, wasn't even thinking about it. And now it's sort of hopped into the foreground. So I wrote you a little note, Mom. I don't know if you understood what I had written. Anyway, because of the work he has to do up here in Newport was why we changed our Florida vacation, which we were supposed to be in Orlando right now. But the schedule now is we left last Friday, which was the 17th. We came up to Manhattan and we spent the weekend with our friends in Manhattan, which was very nice. They got a babysitter and we went out to dinner on Saturday night. Then we came up here to North Providence on Sunday, and today's Monday the 20th. Tonight we're going down to Goat Island in Newport, and we're staying at a resort hotel, which is a race during the summer, like $125 a night, and military rates are $35. Jennifer, you get too close to that heater. Turn it around. Going back towards Dad. So anyway, tonight after supper, we'll have supper here, and then we'll go down to Goat Island to the hotel, and we'll be there for 2 nights. And then Wednesday night, we're going to go back down to New York. We'll go to Yonkers and stay at George's sister Lillian. I will stay there on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. George will stay there Wednesday night. Okay, sit down and why don't you sit over here, and I'll sit over by Daddy.
No. This time we have to be sitting up.
Well, why don't you go over back by the couch? That's probably real good. That's a long way then. We can't kick it. We have to roll it. We can't kick it.
Hold my hand. Hold my hand.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, George will fly back. Rather than have the company pay for him to fly up to Newport and back down to Virginia, he's going to have them pay for him to fly from New York to Virginia so that he can work Thursday and Friday. And then he's going to come back up to New York Friday night, and we'll spend the weekend. Again, Friday night we'll be with his sister Lillian, and Saturday night we'll be with our friends in Manhattan. What's your brother doing? Huh? Then we'll go back home on Sunday, and we will leave on Friday, March the 2nd, to go down to Orlando. We hope to leave again about 2:30 in the afternoon. Go where? You gonna go with? Go with? You want to play ball? Look at Jennifer climbing up on that.
Mommy.
What are you doing? Yes? I was just telling everybody about our trip to Florida, which is our next vacation. We'll leave March the 2nd, hopefully about 2:30 again from the office. Drive down as far as we can, hopefully about 8 hours or more on Friday.
Mommy, watch out.
And then use all day Saturday.
Jennifer.
Our goal is to be at
Let's go.
Disney World for Sunday, which will be March the 4th. Are you talking? We would be in Orlando on
Jennifer.
Sunday and Monday. Monday, after spending the day at Epcot or Disney World, we would go down to Well, watch the heater, Jason. Crawl under the table. Crawl under the table. Oh, I'll get it then.
There's more than one baseball.
Monday night will be at his folks' place.
This is another baseball.
Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday we'll be there.
Baseball.
We will leave Thursday late afternoon and go back up to Orlando. And then we will have Friday and Saturday again at Disney World or Disneyland and Epcot. And then Saturday night after Disney World we'll begin driving and hopefully put on 6 hours. And then Sunday we hope to make it home. So we'll spend my birthday at Disneyland, Disney World. And if this is a 9-hour
drive up to where we are now, and if this 9 hours is any indication of how the kids are going to be on the trips, it has just been great. They have taken naps, then had a lunch, then we've made a stop, and Jennifer's been a super traveler. Jason I had no qualms about anyway. He's always good in the car. But this time he didn't even play with any of his toys he brought, or the backup toys, you know, I have packed that he doesn't know about. There's been no, he's just been sitting and reading books. I put some, you know, books on tape, and he's been listening to the tapes and reading stories. And it's just been nice and relaxing, and I was really surprised. I didn't expect the driving to be so good. Like, when we came up on Friday, the kids slept for the hour and a half, then they had a snack in the car, we made a pit stop, and then we drove for a while and they played, and then George wanted another pit stop, where there was a Roy Rogers there, and I was still hungry, so we stopped and had a sandwich at Roy Rogers, and that killed a half hour. Then we got stuck in almost an hour's worth of traffic, and it delayed the trip even longer, and that was no problem. Both kids were good. At that point, when we were stopped completely in traffic, we let Jennifer out of her car. Watch the cord, Jason. Careful. So, all right, that's it. Put the ball up. Find
Hi,
another game to play with.
I know it's gonna do it.
Bye-bye.
I'll give you another chance.
Bye-bye.
But you gotta slow down.
Bye-bye.
Avoid the rough. Are you waving bye-bye to Grandma and Grandpa? Is that what you're doing? Oh, I want to do her Gymboree stuff with her.
Roll it.
Whoa. Would you like me to stand that up for you? Is that better?
Complicated.
I'll let you get in close so they can see you. Have you been focusing or changing focus on?
Yeah, it seems to be no difference in the different focuses. Jennifer, you want to play patty cake with Grandma and Grandpa? Listen forward. Let's play patty cake.
Let me see if I can figure out the
Okay,
focus.
patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it, roll it, and mark it with the J. Put it in the oven for Jennifer and me. Yay for Grandma and Grandpa. Yay for Grandma and Grandpa. The top button is the zoom. If you really want
No, I
to do it.
found. Boy, I sure got a lot better focus than it was.
You did?
Yep. Just zoomed it in. And focused.
The zoom should. Oh, you zoomed it in and focused and then zoomed out? So
I
you
didn't
better.
zoom out yet. I'm just looking at Jennifer. She's just debating whether to crawl or what to do.
So you can focus better when it's on the zoom in.
Oh, sure. And she's got stripes on, which makes it real easy.
Sharp movement. You want to sit in the chair, Jennifer? Huh? You want to
Back up, please.
back up with your zoom?
I did.
The zoom is on the top, very top of the camera. Just touch one of those little bars.
There's a manual zoom.
Yeah, I know. It's easier with the other one. And less. There you go. You stuck? Watch the light.